Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to join you today on the occasion of the 2020 World Forum for Intangible Cultural Heritage. I will first like to congratulate the organizers for their tireless efforts to make this year's forum a reality. The Korean National Cultural Heritage Administration, together with the International Information and Networking Center for Intangible Cultural Heritage in the Asia-Pacific region, have been important partners to UNESCO over the years. They have promoted awareness of the 2003 Convention and supported communities, universities, and NGOs in networking and exchanging knowledge on intangible cultural heritage. This year's World Forum testifies to your capacity to foster regional and international dialogue and cooperation on the key themes in the field of intangible cultural heritage. Climate change, biodiversity loss, and the rising number of natural hazards represent some of the most pressing issues of our time. Meeting these challenges will require new ways of thinking about our actions and our relationship to the planet. And key to this appreciating the interdependence between people, nature, and culture. Intangible cultural heritage, or living heritage, connects people, nature, and culture. It encompasses, among other things, knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe that community has developed in close interaction with their natural environment. These may include, for instance, knowledge about local flora and fauna, traditional farming techniques, healing systems, seasonal rituals, initiation rites, cosmologies, and specific oral traditions and expression that communities pass one from generation to generation. Living heritage is continuously evolving and changing. It underpins our identity and shapes who we are, what we value, and how we see and act in the world today. In the current Anthropocene era, the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage has never been more important. Many intangible cultural heritage elements are directly linked to the natural environment. In Kenya, for example, the Mijikenda people attach spiritual and cultural significance to sacred forests called kayas, where their ancestors are believed to have lived. The kayas contain burial areas and shrines essential for the enactment of rituals that Mijikenda perform for successful harvest and the good health and well-being of the people. Developed and renewed across generations, such knowledge, practices, and rituals have guided human societies in their interactions with the natural environment for millennia. They carry with them fine-grained knowledge about the flora and fauna of complex natural environments, which can provide a basis for the protection of biodiversity and sustainable management of natural resources. But not only that, such knowledge and practices carry with them certain values towards nature. They shape a particular attitude and relationship to the environment, often fostering notions of respect, custodianship, and connectivity towards nature. Many indigenous communities, for instance, do not necessarily see a distinction between human and nature, and often accord a deep spiritual importance to animals and plants. Understanding and promoting these different values through the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage will be essential in the coming years to facilitate the adoption of responsible behaviors towards the environment and participatory process towards its management. In a world increasingly focused on growth and consumption, the practices, knowledge, and lifestyles developed by local communities as part of their intangible cultural heritage can help us think about new ways of building a sustainable relationship with this planet and living in closer harmony with nature. The shift in thinking is needed now more than ever. This year, the coronavirus pandemic revealed, on a dramatic and global scale, our interdependencies and connections. Our common destiny as human beings living on this planet depends on each other. We need biodiversity for our economy, our food, our well-being, and it is our responsibility to care for this earth together and to pass it on to future generations. Intangible cultural heritage can help orient us towards finding sustainable solutions to such complex and pressing challenges. UNESCO, under its 2003 Convention for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage, has been working closely these past years with state parties towards integrating the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage into sustainable development plans and policies. In 2015, the governing bodies of UNESCO 2003 Convention adopted a set of new provisions recognizing the relationship between intangible cultural heritage and sustainable development. Meeting these goals will require an interdisciplinary collaborative approach. UNESCO's cross-cutting mandate in the natural and social science, culture, education, and communication make it uniquely able to explore the diverse way in which nature and culture are mutually reinforcing and interlinked. To this end, UNESCO has been working closely with the Secretariat of the Convention for Biological Diversity to raise awareness of the links between culture and biological diversity. This work is of a special importance this year, a pivotal year for biodiversity, as discussions take place to agree upon the post-2020 Global Biodiversity Framework. In the area of climate change, UNESCO has been working alongside its member states to support the integration of culture into climate change policy and response efforts. UNESCO's work on intangible cultural heritage in emergencies has illustrated the fundamental ways in which knowledge and practices concerning the climate, such as particular agricultural techniques, weather forecasting systems, and land use strategies, can provide a basis for many effective climate adaptation measures to reduce risk and enhance resilience to climate-related disasters. The 2003 Convention's Global Capacity Building Program has built on this knowledge in recently developing new training materials on the links between disaster risk reduction and safeguarding intangible cultural heritage. This year, UNESCO convened a reflection group comprising leading experts in the field of culture, heritage, and climate science to tackle how culture can serve as a resource in addressing climate change impacts. Discussion reaffirmed the critical importance of this topic and the urgent need to improve the consideration of culture in all its forms in climate change policies and actions. Ladies and gentlemen, the current challenges we face around climate change, biodiversity loss, and this year's devastating COVID-19 pandemic are interlinked. They all concern our values and interactions towards nature and our responsibility to take care of this planet for future generations. Intangible cultural heritage can provide relevant solutions to address such challenges. Let us work together to safeguard the intangible cultural heritage that constitute the fabric of our society and contribute to a more sustainable and peaceful world for us all. Many thanks once again to the Korean National Cultural Heritage Administration and ICCAP and all the participants of the 2020 World Forum for Intangible Cultural Heritage. I wish you fruitful discussions. Thank you very much.